When I was a little kid, for me to be able to sleep, I needed to have a nightlight in my room. And that was years ago, so you had to switch it on all the time. Now they come on automatically. And then I'd be yelling about, "Mom, the nightlight's not on." Because that was safety then. You had a nightlight, there were no monsters in the closet. Nobody was going to come in and hurt you. You were safe with that little nightlight. That's all it took. And then I could sleep. So what makes you afraid today? Because I actually don't need a nightlight anymore. I prefer it actually darker in my bedroom. I want it dark. What are you afraid of? What causes you fear? A person, an event, a possibility? What makes you afraid? People ask if I was afraid during my home invasion a year and a half ago or so. I think I was too busy trying to get out of there to be afraid. I had locked the door and called the police and was planning escape routes. I opened a couple of windows and thought I could go out that window. And then finally the fire department came and took me out. And it wasn't until she showed up at the window that I had just come out of with a knife. I think, oh, I'm glad I got out of there before she broke through the door. I think that would not have been good. Years ago, there was a priest murdered in South Omaha at St. Agnes. And I was pastor at Guadalupe, and the guy who had killed him I had run into a couple times. He was a transient, was trying to get to California. And I didn't like him at all. I said, "Oh, who is this guy?" This is kind of, he had been in Vietnam. He was just kind of a weird guy. After Clefin was murdered, a book I read was called The Gift of Fear. It was by Gavin de Becker. And this guy did security for famous people. That was his job. But he was arguing in the book that fear is a good thing. That when you sense something in somebody, be aware of it. Because unconsciously, you are getting things. And so your unconscious is saying, get out of here, get away from this person. Follow it, is what he would say. Or fight. But he also said, you don't want to be afraid all the time. If you're afraid all the time, it screws up the gift of fear. So then you don't know when to be afraid. Oh, it's been helpful over the years to trust it. That's what he'd argue. Trust your instincts. Know who to avoid, who to trust. Jesus tells us in the gospel today to not be afraid. Don't be afraid, little flock. Don't be afraid. Think, Jesus, maybe sometimes I need to be afraid. Were you afraid of the Romans when they came for you? Don't be afraid, little flock. Why does he say that? He says it's because God has already given you something without your doing anything. Don't be afraid, little flock, because it pleases the Father, it pleases God to give you the kingdom. It is yours. You got it. You don't have to worry about losing it. And Jesus teaches us over and over again that our relationship with Jesus, Father, is not transactional. It isn't like, I do the right prayers and, whoa, God pays attention. or I do the right actions and God will be there. No, God does it first. It has pleased the Father to give it to you. The kingdom is yours. And then he invites us in the gospel to live differently because it's yours. Because you have the kingdom, then be free. Don't be afraid. I need this much money in my bank account. No, be free. Give it away. Help people. Love people. You don't have to hang on to it. It's yours. And you don't have to do anything to earn it. It is yours. Be free. Peter, of course, as you heard, was a little bit confused. Are you saying that it is about for everybody? Or is it just like for us special ones who've been following you? And then Jesus ignores the question and pokes Peter, and really pokes people like Father Petronelli and me, all of us in church work, because it's to say to us, don't abuse what God gives you. Don't abuse the people who are with you. Don't hurt them in any kind of way. Because if you do, it really makes God mad. That's his poke to Peter. But how do we do it? How do we be free? How is it possible not to be afraid? The letter to the Hebrews in the second reading tells us the answer. The answer is a relationship. The answer is a relationship with God. Because it really is about trust, faith. Do you trust God? And trusting God is not much different than trusting your friend. Who do you trust? When you ask them to do something, you know they're going to do it. You trust them. You trust them that they're going to follow through. And you also know who not to trust. Okay, don't trust that person. They've betrayed it. In Hebrews, they give examples, and we only get a couple of them today in that reading. But it's a beautiful chapter. I'd encourage you to go read the whole thing, because it's a whole series of, see how these people trusted? They trusted God. And were there tough times? Yes. Because again, this is not transactional. It isn't like I do everything nice and then God's going to make sure my life is easy. No. Not that. Because all the people that are listed in Hebrews had challenging lives. But they trusted God. Because they trusted, in the end, everything worked out. In the end, it was all okay. They trusted through those tough times that God would take care of them. And so God does. Do you trust God? It's a relationship. So it means spending time. It means getting to know this God so you can trust. So today, just a little encouragement to get to know this friend better, who has given you the kingdom, to set you free, to help you to love, so that you too could become just like Jesus. And that relationship really is much better than nightlight. But you know what? If I look back, it wasn't the nightlight that made the monsters go away. It was my parents who turned it on. The one who makes the monster go away now is the God of the universe, the Jesus who loves you, who redeemed you, who has given you the kingdom.